What's up guys, it's Jordan here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing some Umbrella Corps, which is a new game that just came out, very similar to Rainbow Six Siege except for it has zombies in it. Team-based shooter with zombies involved, a very strange mix, but today I'm going to be dropping you guys with my first impressions. I will be doing a full gameplay on this later today. However, it is currently 12 o'clock at night. I literally stayed up until midnight to get this video out as soon as possible and spend my money so that you guys don't have to and you can see what the game is like. So just to give you a brief overview of what this game is, just in case you don't fully understand, it is a team-based shooter very similar to Siege, except for it has zombies in it as well as tons more game modes. You have like respawn game modes and things like that. However, as always, the main game mode is the one life one, which is obviously a shorter round, a very fast-paced, intense game in which if you die, you die, which is why I'm featuring it on this channel. But these kind of intense tactical shooters normally interest me, so I thought I would drop some money on this and see what it's like. I must admit, I'm a little bit annoyed. I spent ages recording some gameplay. I stayed up until midnight to record a bunch of gameplay on this. However, for some reason it wasn't recording properly. So in the background you will be just seeing some gameplay from various trailers that I've pulled out. I will be doing a full gameplay video on this later today. But anyway, we're going to hop straight into this video. The first thing I want to say to everyone who's been saying this game's going to suck because it's so different to Resident Evil, I do agree with you that obviously it's a massive departure from Resident Evil. However, this is one of many spin-off games that we've seen. It is not going to be Resident Evil 7. It's not meant to be Resident Evil 7. It's completely separate. Resident Evil 7 was obviously announced at E3 recently, so this game is very separate, and to be totally honest, this game seems very low budget. So I want to kick this video off with just talking about how the game looks and how it feels. Obviously this is a game coming out in 2016 and the bar is set very high for graphic fidelity right now. Games like Uncharted 4 have really shown us what video games are capable of now, and considering this is a PC exclusive, you would expect it to look absolutely beautiful. Well, it doesn't really look that great, to be totally honest. I would compare this more to a free-to-play game, especially in the animations. The way your character interacts and moves through the game modes or the world, whatever you want to call it, it just doesn't look quite natural. Your character always looks a bit stiff and floaty. You never really feel like you're properly in the world. Like the animations of when he like goes into cover, you never look like you're properly connecting to the wall, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but your character just doesn't look like he fits quite in properly. Some of the animations are quite good. It's a bit weird. It's like half of the animations have been given really good detail, whereas the other half kind of look a bit crappy and, like I said, look like they've been pulled straight out of like a free-to-play game. Now I know I'm focusing on this a lot, but however this game is a third-person game, so one of the main things you always see is the animations of your character. It's like the front center piece of the screen. You're always going to see what your character's doing, and when he doesn't quite fit in the world naturally, you really notice it, and sometimes it can really pull you out of the game. Games like Ghost Recon, Future Soldier, GTA, Uncharted 4, like when you play those games, you look like your character looks like he fits in that world. He belongs in that world. Anyone who plays a lot of third-person shooters or third-person games in general will understand what I mean, how high-quality animations can really bring up a third-person game, and unfortunately it doesn't quite do it for me in the animation department. I just don't think it looks quite natural. As for some of the other aspects of the game, like the textures and the lighting, it really depends, again, where you're looking in the game. The textures on the characters and the weapons look pretty damn good, to be fair. Like when you go into the first person aiming, I think that looks pretty good. The textures on the gun, they look very high quality, whereas if you start looking at certain areas of the map, I think you'll again see some very low quality textures. Certain areas just look plain down ugly. Some of the zombies even look a bit weird at times. It could just be texture bugs because it's a new game, but sometimes I found that some of the zombies just looked really low quality, like unbelievably low, as in bug low. Like, I'm not sure if it's just bad design or if it's a bug. I really can't say because it's a very new game. I'm literally playing it I played like 2 minutes after launch. Like I said with the map, some of the textures on the floor look really bad. There's certain objects or like, you know, litter scattered around the map that look really bad as well. So again, it's one of those things that in places it looks good and others not so good. I must admit, I thought the rain textures and effects looked pretty good. The lighting was all quite nice. However, I think in 2016 most developers have gotten the hand of making rain look really good in games. I just feel like rain always looks good in games. Like GTA, rain looks amazing. Watch Dogs looked amazing. I just think it's like nearly impossible to mess up rain effects in 2016. I don't know, maybe like there are some games out there that look really bad. Just from my experience, like all the games I've played that have weather in it seem to look really good at the moment. Anyway, moving on to the more important part, and that is the actual gameplay. So first up, the movement. It's not great, again, unfortunately. It's a little bit clunky. Sometimes you'll find yourself getting stuck moving from cover to cover. The whole control precise aiming thing, it doesn't really work quite as well as described. I mean, yes, it's pretty good. You can sort of peek out. It works a lot better on controllers. I would say that. I did try playing it with a gamepad and to be honest, I find it much better, but that's a very personal thing. I just thought it played better on a controller. You guys might have a different opinion. But like other than that, the movement is very clunky. Navigating the map doesn't feel natural or smooth from other games like Ghost Recon. Again, I'm going back to that just because it's one of my favourite third-person shooters, and a good example of a third-person shooter done right. The fact that the animations also feel quite poor makes the movement feel even clunkier. It just doesn't feel very precise and natural. Again, I know I'm saying natural a lot, but that's just the one thing that always pops out at me is how unnatural these characters look in the maps. From my experience, actually, the hit detection was pretty good. I've never had an issue with shooting someone and it missing, so that's one thing I will say is very good. The hit detection's always on point. Again, though, it's such a new game, everyone's having different issues with it at the moment, so there might be some people who have had awful hit detection, I don't know, but from the 4 games that I played, hit detection was not an issue at all. The hitboxes all seem very accurate. If someone was like slightly leaning their head out and he got a headshot, it would register the headshot perfectly. No issues in that department for me. One of the biggest issues I have with this game though is the goddamn character. He takes up so much of the screen. Literally, like, the entire left side of the screen is your character, which is so goddamn annoying. Like, you can't see people on the left hand side of you because your character is in the way, and that is a massive problem in a third person shooter. Like, literally, you have to position yourself perfectly so that you can only see the people on your right hand side, because if anyone comes up on your left hand side, you're not going to see them, you're just going to see your character. So I really think the camera should have been adjusted. This was a problem way before the game even came out. People said that the camera sucked and they still haven't fixed that. I think that's kind of crappy. I mean, I'm not a game developer, but I'm sure it can't be that hard to move a camera in like 3 months time, because about 3 months ago when the beta started rolling out, people were saying how much the camera angle sucked, and it still sucks 3 months later. Moving on to sound, the sound effects in the game are actually pretty good, surprisingly. All of the guns sound really high quality, they sound really meaty, and it just makes it really satisfying when you're in a big firefight, or not big firefight because it's like 3v3, but when you're in a firefight, it's just really satisfying to have all these gun sounds going off around you. The zombies sound pretty good, the effects of like the weather and all the things going on in the environment, everything comes together really nicely to make quite an immersive experience in the sound department. I really don't have a lot to say about it other than the fact that I have no issues with it. Normally sound is quite a big thing for me in a game. If the sound sucks, it really pulls me out of it. Sound and animations are two of the most important things, and I am happy to say that the sound effects do hold up. Not enough to overthrow the fact that your character just looks crap in the game, but enough to say that I did enjoy the firefights because of the sound. So I'll save the most important part for last, and that is the overall gameplay and fun factor of this game. Now, the fun factor is a difficult one because there's two sides to it. One part is it's not very fun because of how clunky the movement is and the graphics looking a bit shoddy and just overall not being a very smooth game to play. However, it is actually rather enjoyable in the fact that it's a very unique twist on the team-based shooter, mainly because of the fact there's zombies in it. It actually makes a big difference, and you know, it's just refreshing to try something different. And the thing is with this game is it's frustrating to play because you want so badly for it to be a good game. You want everything like smooth animations, smooth gameplay, everything. You want it all to work nicely because it is a unique game, and it has the potential to be very fun. However, every time you start to have fun in this game, every time you start to enjoy the uniqueness of it, you get pulled out of it by all the crappy drawbacks of it, mainly being the fact that your character just does not move well. I keep going back to this, but it's just so crap, it's unreal. If you guys play it, you'll understand what I mean. You just can't move. It's like you can't even turn and move properly. It just doesn't let you sometimes. It might be a glitch again, there might be some bugs. I'll come back to this game in a few months, I'll play it and see if they fix any of the issues I have at the moment, but as of right now, you just can't really fully enjoy it. Even though it's a unique idea, it's difficult to enjoy just because of how much the actual gameplay itself isn't very good. That being said, I don't want to shit on the game completely because I actually did have some fun moments in this game. If you're skeptical about trying it, then it is actually, you know, worth maybe picking up when it gets a little bit cheaper. It's already reasonably priced, it's like £25. I wouldn't say it's overpriced for the game it is. It's nice to see that they haven't gone for like a full price title like some of these other multiplayer only games. That being Siege, even though I play a lot of Siege. But like, there's a lot of games like Battlefront and things like that coming out which just have multiplayer components and they're charging like £40 to £50, which is a hell of a lot of money for a game that doesn't have a single player campaign. So it's quite nice to see that these guys haven't actually gone and overcharged this game massively. It's a pretty good price. I think this game does have an audience, people that are looking for like the team-based shooter with some other elements to it, people that don't just want player versus player, people who like player versus player with some player versus environment in there as well, or you know, player versus AI, whatever you want to call it. I think you guys, or that type of player, is going to really enjoy this game. I mean, I think if you really like the idea of it, you should be able to overlook some of its shortcomings. However, if you're unsure about it, I think the shortcomings are going to really put you off this game and make it not very enjoyable for you. You really have to be that exact player that it's targeting in order to be able to enjoy it, despite some of the issues it has. Overall, I wasn't massively impressed by Umbrella Corps. I mean, I had a bit of fun, like I said, at times. It wasn't a bad game. I would say it's an average game, maybe below average, somewhere around there. Again, it really depends on what type of player you are and what you're looking for from this game. If you're looking for a high quality polished team-based shooter with, you know, some other elements into it, then this is not the game for you. It is not polished at all. It feels like it's been a little bit rushed out of the gate. Maybe they could have done with a few extra months of development time just to tighten up some of the animations, tighten up the movement and polish off some of the graphics. But like I said, if you're looking for something a bit unique on the team-based shooter, then definitely give this a try. You might find it very enjoyable. Just bear in mind that obviously it will have these issues that I've described. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please smack that like button and hit subscribe for some more awesome content. I make a lot of Siege videos at the moment. I'm also trying to branch out and do some other things. I do a lot of gaming news. I'm going to be doing a lot more gameplay. I'm going to be doing some gameplay on this game later today. So if you enjoy all of that, then please do stick around. I hope you guys will have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.